Up in the ceiling, we see the goddess Nut. Before I go there, this is where Haru was born, right here on December the 25th, in this chapel right here. Up above, you see the goddess Nut, and from there, our ancestors' spiritual empirical observation, they saw that the universe was a macro womb. And considering that the universe is a macro womb, they had no problems displaying a Natert, or a goddess, Nut, as the goddess of the universe. You see her here giving birth to Ra, the sun. Okay, she's giving birth to the sun that we call S-U-N. And then she's consuming the sun. So in the morning, this is the birth of Nut, literally giving birth to the sun. In the evening, she's consuming the sun, as we see right here. Notice that from her womb, the sun rays coming down, and we see who? Heru. Okay, her zoot type was the cow. She is the Murray of love. Then we see the tree of life. See the tree of life? Because the sun, the ancestors called Ra, gives life to everything on the planet Earth. Photosynthesis. Without it, there is no life. So we see that she's giving birth to the S-U-N sun. From the macro womb, and our mothers gave birth to the what? S-O-N son. This is a concept they call Sa-Ra. Sa-Ra is the son of the sun. All the Nesus were the son of the sun. That means that they were born of the sun from the micro womb of their mothers, just like we see with Nut. That's why the Nesus, when I was showing the Valley of the King, he was in a form of a fetus inside of the sun. Because now he's going through another Kepri, another metamorphosis, another transformation, another Kepara. And he's becoming one with the sun. So again, they had no problem showing the goddess as the universe. There was no misogyny in their spiritual makeup, like we see it in the Western world today. The Western world, they could not conceive of a goddess giving birth to the sun. All their concepts related, even with the Greeks. Pandora's box. How many of you are familiar with Pandora's box? And Pandora's box is represented as what gender? Female. Female. So when that box opens, and that's all the hells of the world, is that right? Yes. All the sins of the world. The same thing with the concept that we see in the opening pages of Genesis. Eve seduces Adam to eat from the tree, and because of that, we are told the cycle of the woman is to remind her of Eve eating from that tree, of the knowledge of good and evil. And because of that, this is the reason why we got the evils of the world. This is a sick misogynist who wrote that, a patriarchal concept coming from the north. Kemet did not have that concept because in their spirituality in the Zeptepi, man and woman were created simultaneously. There was no rib taken from a sar to make a set in the Zeptepi. But the patriarchs were deifying themselves. They could not see a balance. Okay, they could not see the spiritual deity with a wife, even though in the scriptures it says, let us make man in our own image. Is that right? Yes. So when I told the preacher to look at it, he looked at me like I just wrote it in there. The first time his mind opened up to see it. I said, no, wait a minute, us. So you get with your queen, you said, let us make a baby. You're not going to do it by yourself. Let us make a baby. So here somebody in the Bible is writing, let us make man in our own image. So I said to the preacher, was there a marital dispute? They kicked her out and she became the devil? And there might be something to that. Because in the Hebrew word for the devil goddess is called a heifer. So when a sister, brings a friend over and she takes her man, what she call her? You heifer, you took my man. So that's the heifer goddess. So again, I'm saying all these things so we can see how these ideas, they were destroying the female principle, the female goddess concept in the making of their religion. They could not conceive of a spiritual balance because they were only into the deification of their own gender. So that's why you say, God, well, he did a lot of things for me. He did a whole lot of things for me. The concept of God is beyond our human comprehension. Okay? But our ancestors, at least, in trying and understanding that spiritual understanding, they saw it as a balance. Okay? God and goddess. Goddess and God. At least from that understanding. Because the whole universe is a spiritual dialectical laws of opposites. That's why the whole cosmic order was Ma'at. Hotel.
Good coach.